Good afternoon. It's the final World Cup match day in the city, and two soccer powerhouses are set to square off at Toronto Stadium.
Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal will be taking on Luka Modric and Croatia tonight in a knockout game. And CTV's Adrian Ghobrial joins us live now from Toronto Stadium with more on the big match. Adrian, recently we've had the NBA championship, we've had the World Series. Where do you think this compares?
Well, it's right up there, Nathan. If we look at global sporting events, the FIFA World Cup, in many respects, for many countries around the world, it's right up there with the Olympic Games. So having the World Cup here in Toronto is massive. And then having a knockout game with two world-class teams, Croatia and Portugal, taking the pitch here behind me at 7 p.m. tonight at Toronto Stadium. It's right up there when it comes to global sporting events here in this city's history.
Adrian, we saw Croatian fans in Toronto during the group stage. Wow, what a crowd. Now we got Portuguese fans in the mix. What's expected on that front in terms of supporters coming out to see the action today?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. As we know, there's a large Portuguese neighborhood here in Toronto. You think Dundas West, you think the northwest end of the city. They're going to be gathering at about 3:30 p.m. today at Toronto Stanley Park. They're going to be doing their march to the stadium. And we saw yesterday just the crush of fans, of Portuguese supporters, as Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal arrived in Toronto. They're staying at the Delta Hotel downtown near the harbor front. We saw hundreds, if not thousands, of people crushed there along near Bremner Street. So it's going to be a pretty electric day down here, Michelle. Croatian fans will be marching from Croatia House at 5 p.m. and they have been loud and out in numbers since this World Cup started here in Toronto. The FIFA fan zone is expected to be packed as well, just down the street from Toronto Stadium tonight. Of course, the stadium itself is going to be a sea of Portuguese and Croatian supporters.
You know, so far we've been watching other games. We've seen penalty kicks to end the game. We've seen late comebacks. What about tonight? What do you think could happen?
It's a bit of a coin flip. You know, these are two evenly matched sides here. Let's look at the stars here for just a quick second here, Nathan. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo and we've got Luka Modric, and both of them have led their national teams for a number of years now. And this could be the last game each of them play for their national teams at a World Cup right here at Toronto Stadium. One of these teams we know is going home. Portugal is currently ranked 8th in the FIFA rankings. Croatia is ranked 13th, though, you know, it's really anyone's game here. Of course, the Portuguese fans are going to be pushing hard, as are the Croatian fans. If I'm going to pick a team, if you're going to ask me to pick a team, I'm going with Croatia tonight.
Oh, interesting. CTV's, well, you're on record. Adrian Ghobrial live for us at Toronto Stadium. Less than 7 hours to kick off. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, a number of celebrities, both local and international, are expected to attend tonight's match. NBA MVP and Hamilton native Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will take in the match. Nelly Furtado is also expected to attend, along with Zach Galifianakis, NFL player Ben Skowronek, and most of the Toronto Tempo roster. Leafs top draft pick Gavin McKenna and former player Phil Kessel are also expected to show up.
Meanwhile, Canada returned to the practice pitch in Houston this morning as the team gets ready for Saturday's massive game against Morocco.
I think it's an exciting time for sure. Before anything, obviously it's a big game, around a 16 game, somewhere we've never been before, but I think the group's been really good. We've stayed together, we've been good in training, so it's just about staying focused, staying calm, and sticking to what we know.
We've played so many games together as a team. We know how each other play, and I think we kind of had to lean on that experience that we've had together to get through the maybe high-pressure, tough moments as well. So I think we've done that well, and as the tournament's gone on, we've improved definitely. And you saw kind of 0-0 round of 32 in the World Cup. It's obviously a high-pressure situation, and Stacks comes in with 5 minutes to go and puts it in the bottom corner. So that's kind of another moment of him showing his quality as well.
The Canadians are looking to stay fresh against a powerful Moroccan side that needed 120 minutes to advance. Head coach Jesse Marsh says managing player workload is a priority after more than a month together. Canada is chasing a place in the World Cup quarterfinals with a win in Saturday's match. That match beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern.
The sweltering heat today has led to the cancellation of the World Cup watch party at Nathan Phillips Square. CP24's Courtney Heels joins us live with more. Courtney, I guess they want to keep people safe.
That that is the goal for the City of Toronto. Good afternoon, Nathan. That's right. We're here at Nathan Phillips Square. Many people are showing up and a bit surprised to learn there won't be a watch party here later today. A lot of people have been here over the course of the last couple of weeks. It's a free event, and there's something about the atmosphere for people coming together to watch the matches happening in Toronto and all over at this time. So certainly some disappointment. The city making this call because of the extreme heat. It is incredibly hot right now. In fact, we're in the shade just to keep cool, to get some relief. The city also says this has to do with the demand on their resources. At this time, city officials, they're all over the place. They're busy getting ready for the marches that will take place to Toronto Stadium. They're also very busy over at FanFest. Here's what some fans had to say to me about the change in plans. This match is happening during extreme heat in Toronto right now. How are you planning to stay cool and safely enjoy that game?
I have 2 big bottles of water, got a nice fan that I'll be having, and just going inside and out of the fan zone.
Any concerns for how people will be celebrating in this heat right now? I know you'll be inside in the air conditioning, but we know so many people will be over at FanFest, over at Toronto Stadium. Any concerns? That's the key, right?
As long as you hydrate with electrolytes and you're in the shade, it should help.
And that is the key on a day as hot as today. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. In fact, the city says they have water stations set up here at Nathan Phillips Square because this is still a very popular spot. They will also have them set up over at FanFest at Fort York. They're also encouraging people to just take it easy. I know it's difficult on a day like today when we have this huge match happening over at Toronto Stadium, our last match here of the FIFA tournament in Toronto. But again, city health officials just encouraging people to take breaks as much as you can. Lots of sunscreen, water, and wear loose clothing. Nathan, Michelle, over to you guys.
Great advice. CP24's Courtney Hales, appreciate it. She's at Nathan Phillips Square. We're taking a live look, at the waterfront this hour. Definitely a great place to help beat the heat. It's always a little bit cooler by the water, but we do still remain under an orange heat warning. It was hot yesterday. It is still very hot today. Our Jessica Smith is at Harbourfront Center with more on the current conditions. Is it feeling cooler by the water there, Jess?
Most definitely, by about 5 degrees. So there's a significant difference the closer to the water you get. So that may be a saving grace for fans at Toronto Stadium later today. Speaking of fans, have João Pedro, hopefully I'm saying that right. You're from Portugal. You flew in for this game. How does our weather compare to Portugal?
The weather is very, very good in Portugal, but in the Canada, the weather is the best and is very, very good. I hope the game is the game in Portugal with the weather is very, very good.
Who are you cheering for today?
Excuse me?
Who are you cheering for today?
Portugal. Portugal win.
We'll see what happens.
3-0.
3-0. Okay, well, I like it. Oh, enjoy your day. Enjoy the weather. Thank you so much. And speaking of the weather, we'll get to your forecast because, as you mentioned, it's warm in Portugal. It's warm here as well, but significantly different down by the water. We're still looking at those heat warnings in place right across southern Ontario with those humidex values into that mid-40 range. We have that relative humidity at nearly 100% as we head into the afternoon, so keep that in mind. Yesterday, peak temperatures downtown Toronto, 36.4, through Pearson, 36, through our friends in Hamilton, 35, and we're looking at another day into that mid-30 range before you factor in any kind of humidex. So just take that into account. As Courtney mentioned, all those safety precautions are very necessary. Not much in the way of active weather right now, but with all this heat and humidity, we could see a pop-up shower just west of the downtown core as we head into the afternoon and early evening. Through the islands, again, a significant temperature difference, 26 degrees, feeling like 35, through Pearson, 32, and the closer into the downtown core you get, the hotter it is. So for those folks marching, it will be much hotter in the core as opposed to getting closer to the water where the stadium is. So something to keep in mind. We want everyone to enjoy the watch parties, to enjoy the game as safely as possible. As we get into that later point of our afternoon, again, watching for the chance of those pop-up showers. But this heat dome is not going anywhere as we head throughout the day today. So enjoy it, have fun, but do it safely. I'll have more on your full forecast coming up. For now, I'll send things back inside to the studio.
All right, great reminders. Thank you, Jess. Well, it's going to be a busy day on city streets because of the World Cup match tonight.
People are being urged to take transit if they are coming into or heading out of the city. For more on how people can navigate through the core, we're joined live by Samantha Tissey, Senior Communications Advisor with the TTC. She has her World Cup jersey on. Samantha, what do people need to be aware of ahead of today's match?
That's right, Michelle. So we're definitely taking an all-hands-on-deck approach with transit today. We're running lots of extra service on our rails. So subway service along lines 1 and 2 have been ramped up ahead of the games. Also on our streetcar routes, we're running extra streetcars on our 509 Harbourfront, 504 King, and 511 Bathurst routes. So you should be expecting a streetcar 5 minutes or better over there. So if you are traveling, make sure to leave yourself lots of extra time, but we got you covered with that extra service. Now, if you are at home trying to plan your trip, you can definitely download our transit app. That's your best bet to help you get your directions over to the game. And we do have plenty of extra staff stationed at key locations downtown and at our subway stations. You won't be able to miss them. They're wearing these bright red jerseys, just like the ones that I am wearing now. They'll be able to answer any questions that you have or give you some directions over to the Toronto Stadium, or if you're headed over to FanFest there.
Yeah, very helpful, especially for those from out of town. Are there specific areas which may experience some slowdowns?
Yeah, that's right, Nathan. So we are expecting large crowds of fans marching, particularly this afternoon, to head over to the stadium area. So around 1:30 this afternoon, you are going to see some bus and streetcar diversions to accommodate that. So our 63 Ossington, our 504 King, and 509 Harbourfront, as well as the 511 Bathurst streetcars, those will be detouring with when we see those large crowds of fans marching. But if you are traveling, your best bets are to head over on line 2 to either Bathurst or Dufferin stations. We do have plenty of service running from Bathurst Station. That 511 Bathurst streetcar will take you over to the Fleet Hub. And if you are at Dufferin Station, we have a slew of 29 buses you can take there. So you can take the 29, the 929, or we are running a special Dufferin Gate Express bus for the FIFA game tonight. It runs from the Dufferin Station all the way to the Dufferin Gate Loop non-stop. So that is a very seamless connection over to the game to help you manage those crowds and get around any of those detours there.
Getting to the game, that's one thing. What about getting home once the match is over? Anything people need to know transit-wise?
Definitely, Michelle. So after the game, we are going to be monitoring the traffic conditions and crowd levels to adjust service as we need to. Now, a few things we do have in place. The 511 Bathurst northbound streetcars after the game will bypass stops along Bathurst Street between Fleet and King Street. And over on our 509 Harbourfront, eastbound streetcars will bypass stops after the Fleet Hub over to the Billy Bishop Airport. And again, that's to get those fans out of the Toronto Stadium area and a quicker connection over to the subways. Now, if you are going to be staying out late tonight, we got you covered there. We are going to be running subway service past our usual 1:30 a.m. end time. So if you are a night owl and you're going to be out celebrating late, you can definitely take the subway there. But to check on your route, make sure to check ttc.ca. We'll have all the latest information there.
All right, good to know. TTC Senior Communications Advisor Samantha TC, thank you. Well, Go Transit is also offering special service for soccer fans in tonight's game.
We have extended our late night service with the last Lakeshore West train departing Union as late as 12:47 a.m. and exhibition at 12:55 a.m. The last Lakeshore East train will be departing Union Station as late as 12:50 a.m. and Up Express trains will be departing as late as 1:45 a.m. In addition, we also will be offering some late night Go bus service that will be available from our Union Station bus terminal. However, buses are expected to be busier than usual. So if customers are staying in the downtown Toronto area after the last scheduled train on their line, they really should plan ahead and be prepared to use alternative ways to get home.
Metrolinx is also warning GO train passengers some trips may take 10 to 15 minutes longer to reach their final destination. The agency says trains have to operate at slower speeds for safety reasons because of the high temperatures. Still to come, the decision by the U.S. not to renew the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement has created uncertainty for businesses in all three countries. We'll have those details a little later in the newscast.
Turning to other news, 2 people have been seriously injured in a stabbing in Scarborough. This happened just before 10 p.m. yesterday near Nugget Avenue and McCowan Road. Police say 2 people were taken to hospital with serious injuries. Multiple suspects were spotted leaving the scene, but police have not provided descriptions.
And 1 person was sent to hospital following a rollover in Mississauga. It happened shortly after 1 this morning near Dixie and Matheson Boulevard, with two vehicles colliding in the intersection. Several people were in the vehicle, which flipped, but nobody was seriously hurt. Paramedics say one woman was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
To Hamilton now, where police say a man was pronounced dead in hospital after he was pulled out of the water at Binbrook Conservation Area yesterday. Investigators responded to reports of a capsized kayaker who was later pulled from the water. They were in the vicinity looking for a missing boy. Police shared this photo of 7-year-old Nathaniel Salambi. They say he was last seen around 3 p.m. Wednesday. This was on the beach by the floating inflatable playground at the conservation area off Harrison Road. Investigators are asking anyone who may have seen Nathaniel or knows anything about his whereabouts to get in touch.
Toronto police are warning about a scam offering work from home job opportunities. Police say victims responded to an ad which appeared legitimate and were directed to a platform that assigned them jobs to earn a commission. The victims were then told that errors had hurt their account rating and they needed to pay to bring it back into good standing. Once victims tried to withdraw their earnings, even after sending payments, the platform would demand more money and the earnings would not be released. Workers who clean TTC facilities are calling for action from the transit agency's board over what they say are violations of labor and employment laws by one of its contractors.
The worker is represented by SEIU Local 2, say the contractor, Dextera, is not honoring the collective agreement at some TTC locations. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has been following this story. She joins us live now with the details. Siobhan.
So it is quiet here now outside TTC headquarters, Michelle, but there were about 30 people here earlier this morning making noise. As you explained, this is a bit messy, so the frustration from these workers is twofold. It is with the TTC, the transit agency, and also that subcontractor, Dextera Group. The SEIU alleges that the company has been dishonest about people who are doing cleaning work on some areas of the TTC, alleging that they are not abiding by labor laws. They say that in some cases, workers under Dextera contracts are actually working for less than minimum wage, sometimes getting cash under the table. Here's more of what we heard to say from an SEIU representative.
All of the work being performed should have been covered by a union contract. Those workers should have enjoyed that benefit. They chose to have a non-union subcontractor perform the work and hide the work from us. So what we want the TTC to do is we want the TTC to tell Dextera, self-perform that work, do it in accordance with your legal obligations under the collective agreement, and further, we want the TTC to be proactive. Audit these subcontractors, look at their payroll records, talk with the people performing the work to find out if it's being done.
We have reached out to the TTC and Dextera Group to get some sort of response to some of the claims and concerns that SEIU is sharing today, and we are waiting for a response. Reporting live, I'm Siobhan Morris. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. First overall draft pick Gavin McKenna has hit the ice in a Leafs jersey for the first time.
He's among the players taking part in the team's development camp, which started today. CTV's Mike Walker joins us live now from the Ford Performance Center with more. Mike, I'm sure all eyes are on Gavin.
They sure are, Nathan. Of course, there were 50 players taking part in this camp, but of course, Gavin McKenna is the headliner. Less than a week after being selected first overall by Toronto in the draft, this is the first time we're seeing Gavin McKenna hit the ice in a Leafs uniform. Now, as you mentioned, all eyes this morning inside the Ford Performance Center are on the 18-year-old forward who played with Penn State last year, including the Leafs' new head coach, Jim Hillier. McKenna considered a foundational piece for the Buds. Exactly where he will fit in on the Leafs roster will likely be determined in the months ahead. In total, 53 prospects are taking part in this development camp led by assistant GM Haley Wickenheiser, who has played a big role in player development. The camp roster includes all players selected by the Buds in this year's draft, as well as draft picks from previous years and more than 20 free agents. Now, this development camp comes a day after the Leafs made a slew of free agent signings and trades. The headline, signing veteran goalie Sergei Bobrovsky to a 3-year contract worth $21 million. He led the Florida Panthers to back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 2024 and in 2025. Now, What's happening right now on the ice here at the Ford Performance Center is a scrimmage between the prospects. This will go on for the next little bit. Later on this afternoon, we are anticipating to hear from at least 4 of the prospects, and of course, that includes Gavin McKenna. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan and Michelle, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Mike. The decision by the U.S. not to renew the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement has created uncertainty for businesses in all 3 countries.
That's a significant barrier to a main advantage of the agreement, which is predictability for business so that they can make investments.
The decision by the U.S. came after a virtual meeting of representatives from all 3 countries. It means there will now be an annual review of the deal for the next decade, and sectoral tariffs imposed by the U.S. remain in effect. CUSMA will then expire after 10 years if all 3 countries are unable to agree on an extension. And CTV's Renee Rogers has been following the process and joins us live with more. Renee, it seemed like they've been talking about renewing this for such a long time, yet nothing has happened. Did the U.S. give any reasons for not renewing the deal?
Hi, Nathan and Michelle. Well, the U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer says that this all comes down to the agreement's shortcomings. He's also pointing to the U.S.'s trade deficit with Canada as the 2 main reasons why the U.S. has declined to renew that trilateral trade agreement between Canada, the U.S. and Mexico for the next 16 years, triggering, as you said, annual reviews for the next decade. Now, this is not a surprise. The U.S. had already signaled that it did not want to renew due to a number of trade irritants that has already made clear that it has against both Canada and Mexico, which Washington sees as putting the U.S. at a disadvantage. So that means some tough negotiations are ahead, which Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc says will include substantive discussions on those punishing sectoral tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, autos, and lumber, which sit between 25% and 50%. Now, Canada has yet to formally enter into these negotiations, and right now there is no indication of when they will start. But the talks are already underway between the U.S. and Mexico, with 2 bilateral meetings having already occurred, and a 3rd one is planned for later this month. And that is raising questions, Nathan, about whether the U.S. plans to just strike 2 separate bilateral deals with both Mexico and the U.S. So a lot of question marks really remaining in the air surrounding this deal.
All right, so with these possible changes, what has the reaction been on this side of the border?
Well, essentially, it's status quo for now, and that is what most experts are really saying. This agreement does not turn into a pumpkin. CUSMA stays in force for now. The majority of Canadian goods will be entering the U.S. tariff-free under the CUSMA agreement. But what this does mean is that this is going to trigger an annual review process until 2036. And if no extension agreement is reached by that point, the treaty will expire. And now any one of the 3 countries can also pull out of the deal with 6 months' notice. But something that is worth noting is that as much as Donald Trump has criticized the CUSMA agreement, he has never outright fully threatened to pull out of it completely. But what this really does mean in the short term, Nathan, is that affected businesses, really this uncertainty that they've had over the past year and a half that has prompted them to hold off on things like business investments, hiring. Well, that uncertainty really continues. And at this point, with no formal talks scheduled between Canada and the U.S. and Canada, the U.S. and Mexico, for that matter, the uncertainty is set to continue for really who knows how long.
All right, CTV's Renee Rogers in the CTV National Newsroom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In Ukraine, at least 21 civilians were killed in a massive Russian attack on the capital. Many more were injured in the drone and missile strikes that lasted 11 hours overnight into this morning. Officials reported damage to 30 locations, including residential buildings in Kyiv. Ukraine's foreign minister called it a night of horror and urged more international support for air defenses. Diplomatic efforts to end the war remain stalled.
To the Middle East, where Iran is once again ratcheting up tensions over the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran is warning all oil tankers moving through the waterway must use its approved routes or face a forceful response. It wasn't immediately clear what sparked the threat from Iran, but there was an earlier U.S. statement saying Mideast leaders underscored during a meeting their commitment to the free flow of commerce through the strait. 43-year-old security guard has been pulled alive from the rubble following those two devastating earthquakes last week.
Perfecto.
He was located in a collapsed basement of a shopping mall, ending a grueling operation. The man had been there for 8 days, but was extracted safely. Rescuers initially made contact with him over the weekend. The man worked the night shift at the complex and was inside his small security cabin when the first violent tremor struck.
In the UK, the Princess of Wales surprised fans at Wimbledon. Kate is the patron of the All England Club and regularly attends the annual Grass Court Grand Slam. She thrilled fans today, chatting with them and also meeting with children from a local program before taking her seat. Last year, the princess was at Centre Court to present the winners' trophies to the men's and women's singles champions.
It's hot, but there's a beautiful breeze down here. It's hot, but there's a beautiful breeze down here by the water. And for the folks heading out to the island, even nicer. You get a nice kind of breeze off the lake. But as we head into the afternoon, it is going to get quite hot. So if you're heading to Toronto Stadium or you're participating in any of those marches, sun protection and hydration are going to be crucial. We're looking into the mid-30s as we head into your afternoon, feeling like 44 with that slight chance of showers. Winds do pick up as that chance of rain rolls its way into the GTA, but the bulk of that active weather likely to stay just west of us. Coming up, I'll have a full look at your long-range forecast. We'll break down your temperature as we head in towards kickoff. It is going to be hot, not just the football, but also your forecast. All those details coming up right after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
All right, we are in the middle of this heat wave, and I'm sure for many who are outside, you have to follow all those rules, you know, with the hat and the sunglasses, the sunblock. Otherwise, it can be pretty rough out there.
It is so steamy. And Jess, you spend a whole bunch of time outside, I'm sure like you're doing today, and then you go inside where there's air conditioning, and now you're freezing. It's like so dramatic.
You get a bit of whiplash when it comes to going from inside to outside, but really the best place to be is down by the water today. The temperature difference between down here near the harbor front, even just 2 blocks north of us, is pretty significant. So for the folks heading over to the island there, they've got the right idea. We're looking at almost a 10-degree difference between downtown, the downtown core, and the island. They're taking off right now and enjoying what is going to be a beautiful day. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers, you don't pay unless they win. Lots of excitement for people as we get ready for what is going to be a historic day as we get ready for the game this evening. But before all of that, lots to do here in the city of Toronto, but you have to be careful. As we've mentioned, we are under that heat dome with heat warnings blanketing Southern Ontario, Northern Ontario, Eastern Ontario, Western Ontario. It doesn't really matter where you are, it is hot. Right now, already at 32, feeling like 42 towards Pearson, the downtown core hot as well. It's a little bit cooler by the water, but really not by much. As we head into your peak today, we're looking at about 35, feeling like 44. Everybody into that mid-30 range, feeling into the upper 30s or low 40s. We do have that chance of a brief pop-up shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. When that comes through, the winds will be pretty gusty with wind gusts upwards of 50 kilometers an hour. Into this evening, warm as well. As we get in towards kickoff, it's going to be toasty, but your overnight low, 24 degrees, still feeling into the 30s. So challenging for those really from start to finish who are more vulnerable to the heat. As far as your sky goes right now, it is relatively clear, a few light clouds out there, but you can feel that relative humidity that is near 100% right now. As we head in towards your afternoon, again, we're watching for that slight chance of pop-up showers. The bulk of that really going to be west of the downtown core, so you're likely to stay fairly dry here in the city if you're attending the game, but we could see again that pop-up shower. Timing everything out as we head into about 4 o'clock, a lot of the marches begin around then. It'll be hot, it'll be humid, it will be steamy, so if you're doing that march, just prepare accordingly. Again, we're watching for those showers as we head in towards kickoff at 7 p.m. for what is going to be the last game at Toronto Stadium for the FIFA World Cup. Outside of just being really sweaty, we're likely to stay fairly dry as far as the rain goes, maybe a pop-up shower at most. Overnight, though, we see the clouds clear, but we watch for another round of active weather as we head into your Friday, as we head in towards the late morning, early afternoon. Again, with all this heat and humidity, these showers are fast and furious, along with the risk of thunderstorm activity. So just be careful if you're out midday on Friday. Heading into the evening, hot, humid, and clear, but we do see a little relief, I want to say, as we head in towards the beginning of our weekend. So something to look forward to, I suppose, if this hot, humid weather isn't for you. As we head in towards your Saturday evening, relatively comfortable. Now, it is hot. We are well above that seasonal point. We are feeling into that mid-40 range as we head into your afternoon. And as we get in towards kickoff, it is again going to be very hot. As Courtney mentioned earlier, they have canceled that one watch party down towards Nathan Phillips Square. But as we know, at least for now here at the Harbourfront, still going. And of course, FanFest will keep an eye on that. Heading into your Friday, again, that chance of showers, the risk of thunderstorms late morning, early afternoon, and then it clears out into the evening. And then, some relief. We can all take a sigh of relief if the heat and humidity is not your thing. We head into Saturday, 29, feeling into that upper 30 range. Into Sunday, picture perfect. And then we have a much more seasonal forecast as we head in towards this first full week of July. So if the heat ain't for you, you don't have to get out of the kitchen. You just have to wait until the weekend, at least a little closer towards your Sunday. But it is a beautiful day here in the city of Toronto, and if you're by the water, the breeze, I have to say, is such a relief. It is still hot, much like yesterday, but having that little bit more of a wind, making it feel at least a little more manageable. Hopefully this helps you plan. Get out and enjoy it if you can do it safely. But again, hats, hydration, breaks in the shade, all key, and sun protection to enjoying the weather safely. Reporting live, I'm Jessica Smith. For now, I'll send things back inside.
Thank you. That's where the game should be tonight, that outdoor pitch on the water.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something? Thanks, Jess. We return to our top story now. Portugal, Croatia set to face off in the final World Cup match to be held in Toronto. CB24's Phil Perkins joins us now with more. And can you ask for a bigger star?
No, I cannot, Nathan and Michelle. I was at Centennial Park yesterday in Etobicoke, and I think that might be the most packed Centennial Park will ever be, period. Cristiano Ronaldo draws a crowd that I have never seen before. I was there when Bosnia-Herzegovina had their practice. It doesn't even hold a candle to what happened yesterday. I have never seen so many people, so many levels of humans. We had people on the ground. We had people on the hill behind them, and then on the hill behind them, it was almost like an organic football stadium, just to try to get a glimpse of one man and one man only. No disrespect to the guys like Bernardo Silva or Bruno Fernandes, who are equally elite players. They all wanted to see one man, Cristiano Ronaldo. They wanted to see him get off the bus, get on the bus, because there's no way they were going to be able to see practice. They had that completely covered. I saw children who are younger than 15 years old staying outside from 10 o'clock in the morning until around 8 p.m. They had a cooler, they had their snacks, they had lawn chairs. They had people of all ages, not just Portuguese people, but people from all walks of life coming from all over the world to see this man, because he is a global superstar, an icon, a god to some people. And I thought once he did, it acknowledged the crowd after practice, waved to them, got back on the bus. Everyone followed the bus, proceeded to light up flares. I thought the commotion was done. But then we saw people, thousands of people outside the Delta Hotel on Bremner between Scotiabank Arena and Rogers Centre, and also serenading Cristiano Ronaldo, asking for his acknowledgement of their presence. And eventually he did. He did that. And as Jess was saying, it is brutally hot out there, but I don't think that's going to get in the way of the Portuguese community and the Cristiano Ronaldo fans, the Portugal fans. They were on full force yesterday. It was feeling like 48 with the humidity. It's the same deal today. We're at Stanley Park, just north of King Street right now. That's where the official get-together is going to be, the march. They're going to go down Strawn, then to Toronto Stadium, and then collide with the Croatian march. It's going to be a march-off that we have not seen yet in this World Cup in Toronto. Can't wait. Send it back to you, too.
I can't wait to see it either. CP24's Phil Perkins. Been enjoying your coverage and your content. Have fun.
Thanks.
Now, the Blue Jays were decked out in red for Canada Day as they wrapped up their series with the Mets yesterday afternoon.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
What a fabulous moment. A massive Canadian flag unfurled in the outfield ahead of first pitch. Members of the Canadian Armed Forces held the flag during the singing of the national anthem.
He's hit this one pretty well to the opposite field. It is gone!
Rookie Sean Keyes gave the Jays a 5-0 lead with his first big league homer in the third inning. The team extended the lead to 9-0 with a homer in the seventh. They went on to win the game 9-3. The Jays are off today before heading to Seattle to begin a series with the Mariners tomorrow.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have signed another player on the second day of free agency. Forward Brandon Duheim has agreed to a 3-year deal. Financial terms were not disclosed. The 29-year-old has played 375 career NHL games with Minnesota, Colorado, and Washington. The Leafs also added forwards Jack Roslovic, Colton Sissons, Teddy Bluger, and Zach McEwen yesterday, in addition to goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky.
Meanwhile, the Toronto Raptors have agreed to a multi-year contract extension with their head coach. Darko Rajakovic led the team to a 46-36 record this past season. The club improved by 16 wins and made the playoffs. Raptors management said today his strong development philosophy and commitment to a team-first culture shine through on a daily basis. Terms of the extension have not been disclosed. The Raps hired Rajakovic in June of 2023 to replace Nick Nurse. You're watching CTV News at noon. This is a live look from the Hotel X Skyline Cam. This stadium is going to be rocking in just a matter of hours. Stay with us.
There's some developing political news. John Tory Jr., the son of former mayor and one-time leader of the provincial PC party, is planning to run for the federal Liberals. He appeared on News Talk 1010 this morning saying that he's seeking the party's nomination in the Beaches East York by-election.
There's now a process that takes place. It's a party process, and I'm proud of my application to be a candidate, and I'm looking forward to then taking all the things I put about myself in the application and taking them out and wearing out several pairs of shoes as I travel across our riding and give my ideas and present myself to our constituents and ask for their support. And the most important thing is
Tory Jr. works as an aviation executive. He'll be fighting several other candidates to run for the Liberals after the resignation of MP Nate Erskine-Smith. A by-election date has not been set, and we're following this story, and we'll have more details on CTV News at 5 and 6 tonight.
Taylor Swift fans around the world are keeping a very close eye on Madison Square Garden in New York City amid multiple reports she's about to get married to Travis Kelce there. Here's a look at the venue as intense preparations continue for some kind of event. A law enforcement official told the Associated Press the wedding is happening tomorrow night with a rehearsal on the schedule for tonight. Speculation about the superstar singer and football player's nuptials has built to a frenzy in recent days, and fans have been a common sight near the rumored location. Commentators have noted the couple could have chosen Madison Square Garden because it's easy to keep people out, even if it is high profile.
It makes sense, but I just don't think it's typical of her, but I'm sure it'll be gorgeous and beautiful.
We're just kind of scouting out. We heard there was some commotion happening around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding, so we thought we'd just come check it out and see if we could see anything.
Reports suggest about 100 people will attend tonight's rehearsal and about 1,000 will be in the venue tomorrow night, although Swift and Kelce still have not publicly confirmed anything. Still to come, a proposed class action lawsuit has been launched against StubHub over World Cup tickets that were never delivered. We'll have those details when we return.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Whether you're relaxing at the beach, hanging by the pool, or hosting a backyard cookout, summer fun often goes better with some music.
The right portable speaker can set the mood, but you also want one that can survive splashes, sand, and travel. CTV's Pat Foran has a look at some good options on Consumer Alert.
When summer rolls around, sound helps set the mood.
If I can vibe to it, I can dance and just enjoy it.
Good energy, everyone's happy, dancing.
Whether it's music, podcasts, or your favorite beach day mix, Consumer Reports says the best portable speakers combine good sound with durability and portability.
These speakers were selected because they are relatively small, fun, and can hold up to some exposure to elements such as dust and water.
Many of these speakers are designed with rugged, water-resistant exteriors that can can handle pool days, beach trips, and life on the go. One standout, the Sony Altfield 5. Researchers say it delivers plenty of volume and strong bass. Several recommended models also feature compact cylindrical designs that slide easily into backpacks and even water bottle pockets, like the Bose SoundLink Flex and the JBL Flip 7. Another strong option is the Ultimate Ears Megaboom 3. It earns solid scores across the board and is powerful enough to fill a medium to large room with sound. And for something even smaller and more budget-friendly, there's the JBL Clip 5. Its sound quality falls short of the others, but testers say it works well for casual listening and podcasts. Plus,
it has a built-in carabiner that allows you to hook it on to just about anything that has a loop or a latch, so it's great for taking it on the go.
Most Bluetooth speakers work best when your phone or other source stays within 10 meters. Beyond that range, the signal can cut out. Staying close can keep your music with you all summer long. Pat Foran, CTV News.
World Cup fans in the U.S. are suing StubHub, accusing the ticket reseller of failing to deliver expensive tickets they bought on the secondary market. Fans claim they didn't get what they paid for because StubHub never delivered their tickets. The proposed class action suit was filed Tuesday. It seeks at least $5 million U.S. for thousands of people. StubHub did offer refunds, but fans say that was not enough since they were already stuck with airfare and lodging costs. StubHub has not commented on this proposed lawsuit.
A European court has ruled against Google in a major antitrust case.
The court second chamber hereby, first, dismisses the appeal. Second, orders Google LLC and Alphabet Inc. to bear their own costs and to pay those incurred by the European Commission.
Google was fighting a record $7 billion fine that was imposed 8 years ago for using its Android operating system to block rivals. The tech giant made agreements which forced phone manufacturers to pre-install Google Search, Chrome, and Google Play, while also blocking them from using rival Android systems. Google appeared to make that appeal to the Luxembourg-based Court of Justice of the EUA. Spokesperson for Google says, or the spokesperson says, the judgment failed to take into account its investment to ensure Android remains open, interoperable, and free.
Coming up, a musical celebration to mark Canada Day. We'll have more on drummers trying to set a record from coast to coast to coast when we come back. Canada Day celebrations were held across the country yesterday, including a musical event in 40 different cities.
It began in Prince Edward Island as part of an attempt to break a world record. CTV's Maria Saru has the details.
It started slowly with a steady beat, then faster, building into a drum roll. Islanders banged on buckets from home and whatever they had on hand to make some noise.
I think it was cool. It was really in sync, which I really liked that.
Coast to coast, more than 40 cities joined in, trying to beat a Guinness World Record already held by Canadians. In 2021, 581 people performed a drum roll online at the same time. This year, the goal was to top that number.
My fingers and toes are crossed. It would be so amazing to be able to say that we've done this.
The world record attempt was only one part of the celebrations, and for some, it was a moment to pull together.
Especially now with threats from all over the place, especially what's going on with the United States, that we're Canadian, we're standing up, we're proud, we're one unit.
In Charlottetown, Canada Day is never far from history.
This is actually the birthplace of Canada, right here in Prince Edward Island.
The program reached beyond that one beginning, with Mi'kmaq culture featured from beaded jewelry to educational books.
It's important to have Indigenous people at the forefront because we were the first people of Canada, and kind of celebrate and uplift our artisans.
Alongside those deep roots, newer communities were part of the picture too. Food vendors served flavors from the Philippines, Jamaica, and much more.
I'm Canadian and I'm also Nigerian. I like trying foods from both places.
Through the drumming, different voices found one shared rhythm. Organizers say Guinness will confirm whether the record was broken later this week, but the attempt wasn't just about a world title. It was a way to bring people together to mark Canada's past, present, and future in unison. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Well, here in Toronto, does Mother Nature plan to make some noise today? There's the risk, but right now, Jess, it is hot, it is steamy, and it's sunny.
It really is, and Mother Nature might be knocking on the door a little bit later this afternoon, but when we have heat like this and that humidity builds, it is pretty normal to have a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, and we are watching for that until the late afternoon, but we should be okay come game time. If anything, it'll be raining just at the very beginning, but they are fast and furious when it comes to these downbursts. Heat, though, that is the story. That is what everyone is experiencing as we get ready to head into our day, but also is going to be a historic game this evening. We're at 32 here in the city, feeling like 42. As we get into towards game time, still be 31, feeling like 39 with a bit of a breeze out there, and there's still that slight chance of showers, but the bulk of that likely to be a little bit west of the city. As we head in towards your Friday, a more fulsome round of showers with thunderstorms roll through late morning, early afternoon. It clears out, and behind it, some relief as we head into the weekend. So it is hot and humid today. It's hot and humid tomorrow, but by the time we get into the weekend and next week, very seasonal. I'll send things back inside to you.
All right, good to know. Thank you, Jess. And that is it for CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Jessica Smith and the whole team here, have a pleasant afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Nathan Downer. Be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6. Have a great day.